We on?
Think so.
All right. How many beers you had?
I don't know. 3, 6. How many
Doesn't
empty
matter.
cans are over here?
Doesn't it even matter?
Doesn't matter.
All right.
Oh,
let's go.
Hey, let's get going. Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Midlife Playbook. As always, you're here with your boys, Matt and Naeem.
What up?
Just so you know, we are still watching this Bengals game, so apologies ahead of time to anything that may happen. This flag football game that's going on between these two right now.
Oh, geez. Nice catch.
See, there you go, T.
Higgins.
Nice catch.
All right.
All
right, what are we talking about today, man?
So I think if you remember from our last episode, we kind of ended it with a teaser, if you will, about some health and fitness we want to talk about.
Yep.
First of all, neither one of us are any kind of experts in this, but we do have a very different dynamic. I think
I am an expert. What do you mean?
Naeem is an expert. Sorry. I forgot. This guy does one-handed push-ups with his wife on his back.
For legal purposes, we are not experts. I do have a CrossFit level 1 certification, but then again, who the hell who's ever done CrossFit? Who doesn't have one?
Everybody has one of those.
Right. Oh. So, all right. So health and fitness, we're going to talk about that. We're going to go into it. We want to give, some tips because a lot of guys our age, middle age, mid 40s, late 40s, kind of struggle with getting in the gym. We're trying to do a lot of balancing. It's probably the busiest time of our lives. Kids, career.
Yep.
What do I call kids? Fun busters?
No, they're participation trophies.
What does that even mean?
I think we know what participation trophy is. It's your award for doing something. You got that trophy that doesn't go away and eats all your food.
Right. The 18-year project. Oh my gosh. But anyway, with health and fitness and everything, guys, it's something, it's so important. You gotta, I'm going to say this in the beginning and then I'm going to wrap the podcast up and say this again. You're either going to pay for your fitness now or you're going to pay for your illness later. And I'm sure we've all seen two people who are 75 years old. You have 75-year-old guy or gal who's hopping around, bouncing, skipping, having a good time, living their best life. And then you got the 75-year-old that looks 90 in a wheelchair on freaking oxygen just because, it's all about choices that we make in life. So, let's talk about some of these choices that we got.
Yeah, and you probably guys are thinking, like, what gives these two the right to talk about this? Well,
nothing gives us the right.
Absolutely nothing at all. But the reason that we wanted to talk about it is we have two very different dynamics on that, and we're going to get into that. So I'll start with myself.
And we have hot wives, so we kind of got to keep up with that.
We got to keep up with that.
Yeah.
I am 6'5", weigh 260 pounds, a little bit of a belly, but not a huge belly. As far as working out, I never really did. There's a period of time, about 2 to 3 years pre-COVID, where I decided I'm going to start working out. And I did. COVID comes along and shuts the world down, shut my gym down. I lost all motivation to continue working out and therefore have not been back since. So that's where I'm kind of coming from. My side as somebody that does not work out. I really don't watch what I eat. I'm on the seafood diet, right? I eat it. Mm-hmm. So that's my side of the story.
Yeah. And so, you kind of got me on the other side of the spectrum where, I'm in the gym at least, I can try 5 days a week. That's kind of my goal. I don't always get there. I travel for work, kids, wife, all the good stuff. But, I do put my fitness, at a paramount because there's a couple things going on. I really want to look good. Seriously, bro.
What? Oh, was it supposed to be a protein shake? I need another beer. I'm out.
Well, if you're opening one, go get me one.
It's a Miller Lite. Does that count?
So Matt even told you on the last podcast. So yes, I do. I put my fitness paramount, and things are going in a very nice upward right trend, and I love it. But we're sitting here, we're watching football, we're eating wings, we're drinking beer, but you got to balance all that stuff out. No one's saying that you have to work out 5, 6, 7 days a week, and you have to eat this and you have to eat that, and you got to be real super strict, and you got to meal prep, and you got to do this. We're going to talk about some ways that you can maintain your fitness without being a complete psychopath and not enjoy your life. So what do you do? I mean, like you said, you have a little bit of a belly, but I mean, for all intents and purposes.
Is it intensive purposes?
It is not intensive purposes.
Is it intensive purposes?
Intense?
Is it an intense?
Your intent and your purpose.
Is that an intense purpose?
Like, God, that pisses me off when people say that. Intensive purposes.
Intensive purposes.
Like your purpose is intense.
Um, so yeah, like I said, I don't do anything, right? So I don't work out at all. Like I said, I used to, but I haven't since COVID. And prior to that, it's been forever, probably since high school, since I worked out. And even then, it was very little.
What's holding you back?
Laziness, right? I lack the motivation.
Why?
Because I tell myself I don't have time to do it. And reality is, if I really wanted to, I could because I was earlier.
What if you
Um,
told yourself that you do have time to do it and
I
I
need
helped you
to.
find time?
Right. And that's what I need. And I think that's a good point from my point of view when I was,
Oh,
what
interception.
interception? That's fantastic. Nice hands, feet. There you go, T. 4 years all state playing soccer. Jesus. Good. Bro, I'd kick him out of the locker room too, buddy.
I would say I'm mad, but I'm not.
You ain't even, nobody cares about Buffalo still. Okay.
I was
Um,
waiting for 8 o'clock.
part of my, initially when I was working out, I had a workout partner, right? And for me, that was important. I found out afterwards that that's kind of what I need to keep me going. It's somebody to keep me in check, somebody to hold me accountable. And I lost that after COVID. So what's holding me back now? It's a really good question. I don't have a real good reason other than I'm not motivated to do it. I feel like I'm probably too lazy. I don't think lazy is the right word, but I'm definitely, to me in my life with all the chaos that you spoke about around it, I feel like that's something that's where my something's got to give point comes from, right?
Yeah.
So that's where I choose not to go. If something's got to give in my day, it's working out.
I hear that from a lot of people. They just say, listen, I'm lazy. And listen, guys, I by no means am the authority when it comes to motivation. I'm no David Goggins. If you don't know David Goggins, look him up.
Fuck's David Goggins?
He'll get, listen, he'll get
quarterback for the Bills.
He'll get your ass. Don't you blaspheme Josh Allen. So do it. That would actually be blaspheme. I mean, Josh Allen and David Goggins are probably two of the greatest people. Anyway, so, but when it comes to motivation, I sometimes lack motivation myself. There's a lot of times I actually just came off of a slump of about a month where probably in the month I probably only worked out about 8 times. And if you're talking 30 days, 8 times, that's not a good ratio to have. But it got to a point where my body stopped looking the way I wanted it to look. We're in our 40s, so it takes a little bit longer to build it, and it takes a lot less time to lose it. So you got to stay on top of it. And one of the big things that we always got to remember is that to keep yourself looking, feeling, and acting young, you got to build muscle mass. Muscle mass is the key to it. And so if you let that go, then
and this is coming from Naeem. You guys
turn
can't.
into a woman.
You guys can't. I think he just called me a bitch.
In a roundabout way.
So obviously, you guys can't see him, but Naeem is the epitome of fitness. If you look at a Men's and Health Fitness magazine, this dude, his arms don't fit in his shirts. He's got a 14-pack when he takes his shirt off.
That's because I wear mediums.
You get the idea.
It's smoke and mirrors.
So you definitely live this lifestyle. You definitely do not lack the motivation. And I have told you many times that I respect that in you. I look up to you for that motivation. Still doesn't mean I'm going to get off my ass and do anything. But at this stage in our life, you have that drive. You have that motivation. Why don't you kind of tell me what a typical day in the life of Naeem looks like?
So, a lot of people tell me the way I'll answer your questions. A lot of people tell me, I just don't have time to work out. I don't have time to work out. Well, newsflash, I don't have time to work out either. But where I do make the time to work out is at 4 o'clock in the morning. And I know it's a pain in the ass. For you, that's a challenge because you're going to work at 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I realize that's your challenge. You may have to be one of those afternoon workout guys that somehow finds that motivation to work out after work. But then you got kids, basketball, you got volleyball, you guys got soccer, you got all kinds of stuff.
Everything.
So I get it. So maybe, you got to be the guy that works out at 3:30 in the morning. I don't know. Or maybe you're the guy that works out in his basement. My wife works out in the basement. And, maybe you just get a Peloton bike or something. But you have to do something to get your heart rate going. You got to do something, even if it's just push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups right in the house. You got to do something. But to answer your question, the way my day looks, I wake up. I usually naturally just wake up at 3:19. It's the craziest thing. And sometimes I'll go back to sleep until 4, or sometimes I'm just like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to be able to get back to sleep. I'm just going to go to the gym. So I go to the gym, I work out, but I don't ever work out for more than an hour.
Okay.
I'm not one of these 2 hour, 3 hour guys.
So you have a plan.
I have a plan. You got to go to the gym with a plan. And that'll be my first tip that I tell everybody. If you don't have a plan when you walk into the gym, you're going to find yourself on the treadmill for 45 minutes, not doing a damn thing. I don't do cardio. I literally row for a minute and 50 seconds, which
I'm,
usually gets me about 500 meters.
I'm gonna
And
tell
then I
you,
go work out.
I don't even have a plan for breakfast most times. So to hear you talk about this, it's like I I couldn't care less about running
You
on a
said it right.
treadmill. Did I say it right, or
You
said
did say it right.
no, I said I could care less.
No, that's what you normally say is you could care less.
Did I
And if
say
you
it
could
correct?
care less, you would care
I don't
less.
see. Do you care less?
It's I couldn't care.
I couldn't care less.
Yeah.
That's what I said. No?
Yeah, that is what you said. You said it right. I'm proud of you.
I messed that up then, didn't
So
I?
look at you. You're already making progress.
I'm already making progress. Look
So
at me. I'll be bench pressing 500 pounds soon. I'm
But
on
the
my
thing is,
way.
with the plan, people are probably saying to themselves right now, "Oh, no, you're talking about a plan. You're talking about a plan. What's your plan? I don't even know how to make a plan." Guess what? It's very easy. Look on Facebook and just start searching up fitness or workout. Look on TikTok. There's all types of people posting stuff. Look on Chat GPT. Type in Chat GPT. Give me a 20-minute workout. At home, I have a kettlebell, a dumbbell, and I have an exercise bike. Chat GPT will spit you out a workout. That way you get your plan. So any excuse that anybody gives me, I can give them a reason that is a solution. And I'm not putting anybody down when I say this.
He's putting
But
us down.
if you want to get in shape, no matter what your lifestyle is, there's a way for you to do it.
Yeah, and I think it just comes down to owning that lifestyle. I mean, you gotta when I was going, I would go at lunchtime on my lunch break at work, and I had about 40 minutes. I always did have a plan going in, knowing what I was going to do. But a lot of times for me, it sucked. I didn't enjoy it. Right? There was a lot of times where I just wouldn't go, and I would just lack that motivation to go. So there's this whole dynamic of between Naeem and myself that
Before you go there, let me ask you this question because people probably want to hear a little more about that. What made you feel good when you did feel good about working out?
So my energy level definitely went up. Felt like I slept better at night.
Motivation point 1 and 2.
Yep. As far as was I getting stronger? Yes, I was getting stronger. So I was lifting weights. That was happening.
Point 3. Did you look better?
I think I did. I don't know for sure. I never really got to the stage of.
We talked about this last week. Jamie showed me a picture, so yes, you did look better. Motivation point 4.
God. I never got to the stage of people looking at me thinking I worked out, though. I was never like that big or that cut.
But that's what. So here, talk about that too, because a lot of people think that, well, Naeem, you look this way, I'm not going to look like you. Well, chances are you're not, because there's 3 different types of body types, right?
Yeah.
There's the endomorph.
Dad bod.
Nah, that's more like.
Oh, that's my 3 types.
That's like more like power lift.
That's my 3 types.
No,
spare tire, dad bod, and just fat.
Dad bod and couch guy.
As we're sitting on the couch,
right? As we're sitting on the couch. But there's endomorphs, which are more like your power lifters. You got your mesomorphs, which are kind of like your big guys, but you can lift and lift and lift, but you're never going to be super, super cut. And then there's your ectomorphs, the guys who have trouble gaining weight, but the second they touch a weight, they get kind of cut. I'm kind of a mix between ectomorph and mesomorph, more leaning towards the ectomorph side. So, my big thing, I want to feel good in my clothes. So the second I feel my clothes getting a little baggy, or, I don't have to put my belt on a certain loop, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. We got to get back in the gym. We got to figure this thing out. So you've got to find your why and find what it was that made you feel good. And you've got to pour into that.
Yeah, I think that's important. What you just said, finding your why. For me, I can't even tell you, thinking back on it now, I can't even tell you what motivated me to get back in the gym or to start going all those years ago. I really don't know. I definitely did like some of the results that were coming. But for me, it just got to a point where it seemed like more work than it was worth for me. Right. And like I said, that was if something has to give in my life, that was what had to give for me.
Can I give you a huge why?
Yes.
And this is one of my whys. And a lot of times I forget this one because it's such a long-term why. But right now we're able to get out in the yard. You know, you've got your son, 2 daughters.
Yep.
You're out there. You can
Yep.
go play basketball. You can go hit the volleyball. You can do that. We can go to the
Right.
pool. We can, play
Right.
pool
Right.
basketball.
Right.
And we feel good and we're fine. But in 10 years, are we going to be in that same exact shape?
Right.
When our kids start having kids, are we going to be those grandparents that are able to go out in the yard with them, throw the ball, run up and down the street with them, teach them how to ride a bike, all those things? Or are we going to be like, oh, I'm going to sit on the porch, I'm going to watch you go do your thing? We don't want to be those.
Right.
So that could be your why. You're doing it for your kids.
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's something that, I need to look at. And look, I'm not against it. And I think it's great.
I'm going to get your ass back in the gym. I'm fired up.
You're going to have to come.
Drop down and give me 20.
You're going to have to come drag me out of my house, which you probably could do.
I will. No, I don't know. You're a big boy. I remember that time I tried to put you on my shoulders.
Yeah.
That didn't work well.
Well, you were a little top. I'm a little top heavy when I'm on your shoulders. I have a high center of gravity. It's hard to pick me up.
What am I, $185?
I think
you're
so.
Almost 100 pounds hevier than me?
Oh, yeah. I think you just called me fat.
Do
so
60.
First, it's a bitch, and I'm a fat bitch. Okay. That's fine. I think, and part of me is I just kind of settled into the role of this is what I do, right? And this is kind of how I've accepted it. Should I be more conscious about my health? I absolutely should be. Except I don't have any diet restrictions. I eat whatever, but you are very different on that, or you used to be.
I used to be.
Meal prepping.
When I was in my 30s, so I have a CrossFit level 1 certification. I was a trainer for a little bit. I also, competed on American Ninja Warrior for 3 seasons, which that's not a huge athletic event because it's such a quick thing that happens. But, just to kind of give you guys a little bit of background on me, I was a wrestler and a football player in high school. I didn't do anything in college. I was just too small. But, I do have that background of constantly working out my entire life. And it's just translated into these, middle-aged years where I keep going. And, what was your question?
I don't remember. Sorry.
I've been watching this game.
I've been watching the game too, and another fucking false start and
time.
shit. Now they're losing by 10. My God, if I was Joe Burrow, I'd want the whole team fired.
Right. Or just go to a different team.
Unbelievable. Or
he could go be Josh Allen's backup.
I thought that was that other guy, that David guy.
David who?
No, I don't know. Nobody wants to play on Buffalo.
It's Mitch Trubisky. All right. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. That's better.
Oh, no.
Oh, there you go. There's a nice little sack fumble. Oh, it's going to be a touchdown.
That is a tutty.
This is a walk-in. Oh, go fuck
on.
yourself, 41. Oh, what the hell?
And that's ball game. Joe Burrow wants out of Cincy, man. I'm sorry.
He can't get out quick enough.
I hate to tell you.
You were talking about your background, your food prep, your meal prep.
Oh, meal prep. Yeah. So I used to be crazy about it. Sundays were spent cooking and packaging and this and that. Just don't have time for that now.
I remember that when I first met you.
Yeah.
I would invite you to do something like, I got to prep for the week first. I'd be like, prep for the week?
No.
All right, I'll order a pizza and come join you.
Yeah. And watch it. Right. But no one's got time for that anymore, especially guys our age. And so when you've got all these responsibilities, I did find there's a lot of meal delivery services. Yep. I particularly use Factor. Mm-hmm. Maybe if we
I use DoorDash.
We might be.
No, is that not the same thing? You can get a lot of shit on DoorDash and you don't have to move.
One of these things is not like the other. Let's not get confused here. But listen, I love my cheeseburgers, my pizza. I do. But if you do need to get those healthy meals in, Factor is a great service. They actually, you pop them in the microwave for 20 minutes. You can get protein heavy meals. You can get vegetarian meals. You can get, they're a square balanced meal. You got your protein, your carbs, and your veggies. It's really all you need. And
you can get it on a pizza, by the way.
Yeah. You want to order one?
Pepperoni, bell peppers. I think we're going to have one later.
We are actually going to. So that's what we're saying, guys, is you don't have to be a psychopath about this, but you've got to make some choices that are going to keep your arteries clear for many reasons. Some man reasons too. And, just do something. The thing is just do anything.
Yeah. And, I think speaking from my viewpoint on this, it's just something that's not in the forefront. And I don't know that you necessarily have to start early on and live that lifestyle your whole life. I think it is something that can be picked up later in life. I just think the longer you wait, the harder it becomes.
Absolutely.
Because you get settled into the not doing it.
Yep. And then your
I
knees
do
go.
some
And then,
things. You know, I do take some vitamins. I do take Centrum Silver because I'm an old fucker. I do also take fish oil. I do take what is that, a K2 D1 supplement, I think. Maybe I'm saying that wrong. I also take ashwagandha.
D.
The ashwagandha I take. And
Ashwa who? No, I'm just
ashwagandha.
joking.
Yeah. Isn't that what Brett Favre was taking? Or not Brett Favre, Aaron Rodgers when he was in his cave of solitude?
Ayahuasca.
That's ayahuasca. That's what it was.
Yeah.
And one thing that I'm on that we haven't really talked about yet, but I think it's a good conversation, is testosterone levels. Kind of tie into this, right? So as we age, testosterone levels plummet through the basement. So I am on a TRT replacement therapy.
Likewise.
A year ago, I went and had my numbers checked. And the reason I went to have my numbers checked is I was sleeping like shit. I was tired all the time. I lacked motivation to do anything. It was hard for me to like just go out in the evening, go out with friends, go out with whatever's hard. So I went and had my number checked, and my number was 280. So I think,
Dude, I was lower than you. I was 260.
yeah, and I think they will tell you anything below 500 is treatable, right? I think is what the number was. 500 to 600 was, if I'm remembering correctly. Again, I'm not an expert on this, but I've been taking TRT for a year, and my number now is up to like 910. But I'm not working out, and I know in the back of my head that would help with that. But that's kind of like what my life is now. I don't do any cardio. I don't do anything, and it's just lack of motivation. It's lack of seeing the better good, and it's lack of, I don't know.
You'll get there though. But you know what one huge thing for me was when I started on my testosterone replacement therapy, TRT we'll call it for short. When I started on TRT was, it takes a few weeks for everything to kick in, but once your testosterone levels begin to come up, you'll see that any little thing you do in the gym is amplified because now you've got the testosterone level of a 25-year-old.
Yeah.
So those are the building blocks of muscle. And you'll be able to put on, more muscle mass. You'll be able
New England is beating Indiana. New England is beating. God, what is going on?
I was getting into the meat of it.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
White out
cut it right
football.
off.
Anyway, so that's what it is, guys. Football Sunday. So, testosterone. If you are a guy in your 40s, we highly recommend that you get your levels checked. Just check. You don't have to start therapy, and there's also testosterone boosters out there. You don't have to go straight the injection route. You can do whatever you want to do, but do something. You've got to look out for your health because we're gonna, we've given you a few tips, sprinkled them in here and there throughout this episode, but we're gonna wrap this whole thing when we do. I'm gonna go through all 5 tips that we think are a good place to start if you're a guy who's like, I just need to work out, but I can't find the motivation and I just don't know where to start.
And the TRT for me, since I don't work out, helped with my stress levels. My cortisol production went down. I sleep better. I definitely have more energy, more motivation to do stuff. So it can help you that way too. Oh, excuse me. Man, what is going on here? I'm a little indigestion from all these pizzas I'm eating lately. One thing I do want to kind of bring up, side note, Naeem and his family do have a TikTok page that I think you guys should check out for a number of reasons. What's the name of it?
Oh boy, the Mixed Six Family, all spelled out. MIXEDSIXFAMILY.
So there's a lot going on with that page, and me and him do a bit on there. We have 4 or 5 videos we've shot of this whole thing we're talking about. It's dad bod versus father figure. It's hilarious stuff. They have a lot of great content on their page, a lot of family friendly stuff. Check it out if you guys get a chance.
Yeah, it's we enjoy it. We have a good time. We actually had my stepson here, who's actually really, really big on TikTok. His handle is Impossible Runs, and he's kind of like you and I combined.
Yeah,
because he eats like a glutton on camera, and then he goes and runs 20 miles to burn off the caloric intake. So, but he's also 21 years old and he can do that, but I don't think either one of us would survive.
Well, I will eat 3,000 calories and take a nap.
That's the best way.
It's fine.
Oh man. But did we talk about it all?
I think we did. I mean, we kind of wanted to get into some parenting, but we're not going to quite make it. We're going to wrap this up. So I think we'll get into
it on the next one.
Funny parenting next one. But I think Naeem's got a few things he wants to drive everything home with here quick, just kind of as a recap.
For sure. So really just start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. You don't need to go to a gym. Push-ups and sit-ups can be done in your house. Air squats, I cannot stress the importance of working your legs. Your legs are the largest muscles in your body, which means they will produce the most testosterone if you're a guy, and that's going to help to balance everything out. So just a simple thing: push-ups, pull-ups, air squats. Then have a plan. Just tell yourself every morning when I work out or when I wake up, I'm just going to get on my floor. I'm going to knock out, 10 push-ups today. And then when you can get 10 easily, bump it up to 15, then 20. Same thing with the number of reps on your squats and on your sit-ups. And if you don't know what to do, look on Facebook, TikTok, ChatGPT. Just type something in related to a workout and you'll see all kinds of stuff come through your feed. Meal prep takes way too much time. Look into a meal delivery service. It can get a little pricey, but if it is too pricey for you, then meal prep. But do something. Make smart food choices: a protein, a veggie, a carb. And really, it's tough, guys. It's not easy, but you got to do something because, last tip, you're going to pay for your fitness now or you're going to pay for your illness later. Do it for yourself. Do it for your kids. Do it for your wife or your husband if you're a female listening. And I think that's it.
I think that is it, man. That's a lot of good stuff on there. So we're going to wrap this episode up, and thanks for listening, and we'll get back to you soon, guys.
We'll check back with you. Have a good weekend.